at this time. I want to trust that you had a great time with Vicky Vic, the only sports minister on radio on Sports on Eagles Wings. I mean, I heard all of the commentaries made by himself and the sport lovers. Well, the good thing is he is back. Myself and UD, we are very, very excited that he is back. So you get to hear from him. I mean, hear from the horse's mouth directly. My name is Omoefe Peace Osemere, welcoming you on board. This is Eagles Outlook, where we talk politics and current affairs. And today, just like I said before, now that we're going to be beaming our searchlight on Nigeria's power sector. I know, of course, that there have been conversations really, and reservations have also been expressed by a number of Nigerians, observers, concerning the president's, cabinet. And when you look at different sectors of the nation's economy, the power sector is one that is a major driver, whether you like it or not. There have been lamentations by the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, and other unions, organizations, that so many jobs and businesses have actually gone under as a result of the epileptic power supply that we are faced with in Nigeria. And that is just on one side. On the other side, you also take a look at the distinction in bands or category of power consumers in Nigeria. We've got the band A, the band B, the band C. I really do not know if we don't have band Y and band Z, but would you be surprised if we're made to understand tomorrow that we don't have a band called band Z or band Y? That should be maybe for the poorest of the poor, because we understand the band A is somewhat for the elite. But I'm just wondering at this point in time what band or category you actually fall in. Anywho, that's just by the way. You also look at the increase in electricity tariff and the concerns around Nigerians paying for darkness. Now, these are issues on the table. We'll see how we can harmonize our thoughts on the show this morning, vis-a-vis calls for the resignation or even the sack and replacement of the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu. Well, in the first, reign of the President Bola Tinubu-led administration, where some ministers were fired and others, hired to replace the ones that were fired, some Nigerians had actually expected that the Minister of Power would actually fall into the category of those that would be fired, replaced. But here we are, and that conversation is still ongoing. But at this point in time, we understand that the federal government is actually making plans, right, to roll out 7 million meters or meter to end estimated billing in Nigeria. Just wondering at this point in time if we really have what it takes to move past the era of estimated billing in Nigeria. My guest will be joining me in a short bit, but very quickly, let's take a look at the background of the conversation this morning. Now, the federal government of Nigeria plans to deploy 7 million smart meters nationwide to eliminate estimated billing and reduce revenue losses in the power sector. Now, this initiative aims to improve the commercial value chain of gas to power and enhance revenue assurance, right? The current state of metering in Nigeria is characterized by a lack of accurate billing, leading to revenue losses for distribution companies, that's the discos, and consumers paying for estimated rather than actual consumption. All right, so as we speak, 7 million smart meters and the planned number of smart meters to be deployed, and currently many consumers pay for estimated bills or rather than the actual electricity consumption. But it appears we are divided across thought lines, because there are some Nigerians who would say, they prefer to maintain the estimated billing status as opposed to having a prepaid example. But what works for you, right, is what you'd want to stick to. But let's quickly share with you a personal story of a small business owner right here in Nigeria, Mrs. Neoma according to her, she's been struggling with estimated electricity bills, and she often disputes the bills, but the disco insists on payment. So with smart meters, she will pay for actual consumption, reducing her cost and frustration. So when you actually fall under the estimated billing, you have to pay whether or not there has been power supply, whether you've been able to consume the power or not. You still have to pay the bills, and it's actually estimated. But when you have the smart meters or the prepaid meters, you know that you are getting value for your money. But whenever there is an increase in tariff, this seems to cry foul, or cry even more than the bereaved, right? So what exactly are your thoughts on this, dear listening guest, who is, by the way, an energy systems consultant, Dr. Piper, who being us, spoke with him shortly before coming into the studio, and is very much on his way to the studio so we can get this. But at this juncture, when you look at the impact of businesses on families, do you think is a step in the right about the cost implication of getting 7 million across the nation just to end estimated billing? How smart meter deployment affect commercial electricity bills and revenue, and will the smart meters also capacity for underserved communities? I think that should even top the list we need to do the morning, because I mean, one would say beyond you providing meters, if you like, are you also assuring there is going to be fair power supply in such a way depend solely on power supply to run their businesses, won't have to pay through their nose to get fuel to run their generators, to run their businesses? Now, how well this might be distributed across the country. Recall also the previous mass metering program. It actually exposed a lot of loopholes that we have in the system. And at the end of the day, it was more of blames and counter blames, right? Or claims and counter claims. Or there was an agreement, it was some sort of partnership, and at the end of the day, the government did not meet up, or keep up, or keep to. And that's why the meters did not really, or did not exactly go around the way it's, ought to. And others are saying, from Nigerians who have actually been able to secure the meters or the prepaid meters, they were saying that, look, they had to pay through their nose to get a prepaid meter or meters. I remember very clearly, there was a time, sometime in 2023 or 2024, the apartment where I actually occupied at the time, there were no prepaid meters there. So we were using the estimated billing, structure. And the bills were really, really outrageous, especially as the power supply was really epileptic. I mean, you could actually stay a week without even seeing the blink of the light. So if you do not have a generator, you are most probably going to stay in darkness almost a week, if not more. The house, I wanted to disconnect the light because we had not paid the bills, and the neighbors in the apartment, they were also very concerned that the bills were just too outrageous. And then I just had to take it upon myself to go indulge these officials, to ask questions. What exactly is going on? Are you all aware that the past 1 week there's been no power supply, and here you are presenting this outrageous bill? And then he says something, madam, that is why it is an estimated bill. So whether or not you used the light, you still have to pay these bills. Now, that is what differentiates you from someone who's using a prepaid meter or a smart meter. Was that an eye-opener? Not exactly, but I just wanted to get sense of why the bills were just so outrageous. And then at some point in time, I came up with a conversation on us trying to get the prepaid meter, and the process was just too cumbersome. I mean, you have to go here, go there. For some people who've been able to acquire these prepaid meters, according to them, listening to their testimonies, they were able to get the prepaid meters because they knew someone who knew someone who knew someone who knew someone, and it goes on and on. I mean, what kind of system are we operating right here in Nigeria? So the cards are on the table this morning. dear listener, and would like to get your honest thoughts on this. Do you really think that Nigeria as a nation, and when you take a look at the economic, activities going on across the country, do you think that we can ever move past the era of estimated billing in Nigeria? Do you think so? And if at all geared up to move past the era of estimated billing, do you think this is the right way to go about it? Do you have concerns about this plan, by the federal government to deploy 7 million meters or smart meters nationwide? Are there questions that you think should, get answers? Or maybe you think there are I's that needs to be very well dotted and T's that ought to be very well crossed before this plan is, executed at the end of the day. You can call us actually on 09073530044 or 09087668888. These are the numbers to call this morning to be part of the conversation. You can also send a message or a voice note to the WhatsApp portal number on 0909-705-44 and 50. Join us also online on YouTube and Facebook and indulge us. Tell us what you make of this very topical issue that we are discussing this morning on the show. Please remember to stay civil whilst you make your contributions on the show. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning, Amoyefe.
Good morning, Moses.
This is Abubakar Mohammed from Apo this morning.
Oh, Abubakar, you sound like Moses, but good to have you. So let's hear from you.
It is very possible for Nigeria to stop estimated billing if the body language and the political will. You are saying that federal government wants to bring 7 million meters, smart meters,
right,
to be distributed. The question I'm asking is federal government going back to electricity distribution again?
Selective?
Electricity distribution not given to electricity distribution companies? Are they not businessmen? Don't they have money to supply meters? Why should the federal government supply meters for them? And we say they are in business. Is government going to run businesses for private people again? Now you can see it's very clear that we have sold these companies to people who do not have the capacity, they don't have the competence, they don't have the financial muscle to run these companies, and government is not taking the burden. So what is the essence of the privatization? The truth of the matter is that if we must get it right, let us do things right. If these people cannot afford to provide meters from their own pockets, from their own money, from their own company, the federal government should take over this company and run them properly, or hand them over to people who have financial muscle and capacity to run them. We cannot understand why a company is privatized and government will continue to fund funding, and we are not getting results, we are not getting value. Nigeria again should change. This is not the way to go. Thank you, Omoyefe. God bless Nigeria.
Abubakar, thank you very much for your contribution. Right. It says a lot, really, your submissions right there. But let's see if we can get counter views to that. All right, 09073530044 or 09087668888 are the numbers to call to be part of the conversation this morning. Federal government is 7 million meter rollout to end estimated billing in Nigeria, and this is also to eliminate and also reduce revenue leakages. All right. We understand that the smart meter deployment is part of the President Bola Tinubu-led administration's effort to improve the commercial value chain of gas to power. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Edward.
Thank you so much. I'm calling for the poll.
Right, good to have you. I missed your message earlier.
Yeah. What did you say?
Yes, I missed your message earlier. During the newspaper review segment because it came in really late.
Oh my God, I can't hear more.
Can you hear me, Honorable Edward? Are you there? All right, please do us a call back if you can. My guest just made a grand entrance. Dr. Peter Piper, an energy systems consultant. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Amoyefe. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, It's good to be here. So sorry, I'm just joining in now, and that's because I had to have a very serious conversation with an expert.
Oh, okay.
On this.
Oh, really?
Yes, and the guy actually just dropped me off the studio right now.
Oh, wow.
So I think I am burning with information to give.
Talking about intentionality, right? When looking at very topical issues, and I'm glad this time we're not here to talk politics.
Yeah, I'm talking politics. So let's talk about what concerns every Nigerian.
Well, all right.
What concerns you and I?
Absolutely. For starters, I know there have been conversations around the performance assessment of Tinubu's cabinet, and the Minister of Power has, he's been tongue-lashed at the same time in recent times by Nigerians. Some actually think that he's actually performed woefully. But do you think power supply has really improved?
Please let me laugh. You're talking about power supply improving. You don't even have power. You don't have the supply, and you want to improve. What are we improving? You see, there's no light at home where I just left the house, came down here. When I knew about this topic, I had to go and meet someone who is hands-on. He can't come on in air because he's a civil servant.
Okay.
So he says, look, the problem here is the energy sector has largely been privatized. So when we keep blaming the government, we should also look at these private entities operating. Now we're talking about meters. Now, I asked these experts a simple question. I said, these meters you're talking about, who will it eventually belong to? When I pay for the meter, who owns the meter? He said, it's my property. I said, oh, so I own the meters? Yes. Why can't I just walk into a shop, an electronics shop, and buy a prepaid meter? Can you tell me why there is a scarcity on prepaid meters? Are you telling us in the 21st century that the manufacturers of these prepaid meters are so rich that they don't want to sell their products? But this is where the problem is. The same person who doesn't want you to have the prepaid meter is the same person you are asking to help you distribute the prepaid meters. So they are not going to distribute it because it is not in their own economic or a monetary interest for them to give you. They are the beneficiaries of the what do you call it again? The estimated billing. Yes. So you are asking the man who's benefiting from the estimated billing to give you meters so that he will no longer benefit from the estimated billing.
But don't you think they can still, benefit? Because at some point in time, we're made to understand that, they are going to jack up, electricity tariff. Who benefits from that at the end of the day?
Now, there are three sectors.
Okay.
We have those, which are the distribution companies.
Right.
These guys are discos because they are dancing disco just like we used to dance in the nightclub in those days. So they are so busy with their discos that they are completely disconnected in the process of the generation and the transmission of this electricity. So they are at the end. So whatever you give them to transmit to the people, they want to maximize profits. And they are benefiting. Omoife, I am from Delta State.
Right.
And I can tell you that there are whole communities in Delta States that are receiving estimated billing. And it has been this way almost forever. Some of them don't even know what a prepaid meter looks like. So the question you will always ask is, who is benefiting from the problem? And if the person benefiting from the problem is being made a part of the solution to that problem, then it means we are not serious.
But don't you think the masses are perhaps just comfortable using the estimated billing, structure as opposed to getting prepaid meters? And then you said something earlier that why can't you just walk into
who are the
store?
masses? The masses have been defeated. They have used everything against the masses. They have poverty as a weapon against them. They have used religion as a weapon against them. They have used ethnicity as a weapon against them. They have used everything they can use as a weapon against the common man. So the common people are miserable, they are frustrated, they have lost the will and even the confidence to criticize government. And every time even we in the civil society try to galvanize their interest to a protest, people say, I beg, make una just leave us. We don't tire. Anything when they want to make them do. And the moment a country drifts into this type of scenario, it becomes really worrisome. It's really, really worrisome.
Okay.
Because you don't even have electricity. And what you don't have, they are estimating it on your behalf and extorting that money from you. And now the president of your country is saying, okay, take 7 million meters and distribute. The question I'm asking, who is the distributor? If the person distributing these meters is the same person benefiting from the estimated billing, then you are deceiving the already deceived into believing that your deceit is not actually a deception.
But let's get something straight. Whose responsibility to distribute the prepaid meters?
The prepaid meters should be available in every electronics or electrical shop for people to buy.
Oh, but don't you think the owners of these shops will take advantage?
Take advantage of what? When you buy a television, it's your property. When you buy a phone, it's your property. If your prepaid meter gets spoiled tomorrow, you are going to be asked to pay for another one. It's not a free gift. It's just like your phone. If you're using MTN, Glow, or Airtel, and one service is not doing fine, you take the SIM card, rip it off, and you don't throw away the phone. So this is what we are asking for in Nigeria. Omoefe, please. You see, some of us activists are tired of going to prison. We too are becoming demoralized. Even speaking the truth is a provocation to the people you are speaking to, even when they know the words you're saying are truthful. You know, the prepaid meter. Why can't we go to a shop and buy a prepaid meter? So that the companies themselves, the AEDC or the discos, can simply put their softwares into it, just like a SIM card, and it's working. So you should ask yourself, why is there a scarcity in prepaid meter? That should tell you something.
Okay. Let us quickly take a look at some of the reasons why past metering programs actually failed in Nigeria. What we're seeing here on Business Day, this was actually published sometime early last year, as a matter of fact, that the unavailability of meters for customers has actually resulted in a significant metering gap in Africa's largest economy. And although efforts have been made to close the metering gap over the years, including different programs introduced by past administrations, the initiatives have actually failed to meet expectations. Now, a lot of reasons have been traced to this failure, including alleged high-level corruption, weak regulation, lack of consumer awareness, regulatory and policy issues. In this case, Dr. Piper, you probably think...
Can you see all the excuses they gave?
Yeah.
You know, all these excuses, come on, even a kindergarten child will know that's just rubbish. You know, I should be able to go to a shop and buy a meter. Is it the government that is selling telephones to everyone? When the government was in charge of the telecommunication system in Nigeria, when all we had was Nitel, Ife, did you have a telephone, a Nitel phone in your house when they had all that wires? But when they took their hands off it, you can go to a shop now and buy a handset and buy all of this. That is the meaning of deregulation. That's what they told us they have done, in the open, while in reality, they haven't deregulated anything. If you've deregulated it, stop telling me about meters. Give the meter to businessmen. They will distribute enough meters for Nigerians. How many Nigerians do we have? Just about 200 something million Nigerians. Then break it down to the number of houses, because everyone doesn't have a house. There's a trader somewhere, there's a businessman somewhere who will like to benefit from distributing 50 to 100 million meters to Nigerians. So why are we saying that metering is a problem? Someone doesn't want you to have meters.
But do you think at the end of the day, we can indeed achieve that milestone of exiting the estimated billing status in Nigeria?
It depends on the we. You get it? If the we you are talking about is the masses, sorry, they have been defeated.
But
if the we you're talking about is the government, then you will be asking yourself if the government truly has the will to truly solve this problem. Efe, let me remind you the last time we were on this same program, when we suggested things like microgrid, mini-grid, you remember?
Right.
Now, what was the government's response? They have fixed a microgrid in Aso Rock because they are listening to you and I, Omoife. And what were we talking about? We said we wanted microgrid and mini-grid all over so that we can lessen the burden on the national grid. So even if the national grid should collapse right now, it doesn't affect Aso Rock. Do you understand?
Right.
So when we begin to talk about we, it depends on the side you belong to in the we. I belong to only one side. Unfortunately, our side is not winning.
Okay, I'll let you hold your thought, Dr. Piper. Let's go pay some bills. When we return, the studio lines will be open officially for you to call in once more to ask questions if you have any bothering your mind, or just share your thoughts on the topic of discussion. This is Eagles Outlook, live on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. Do join us again.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Logistics. Logistics. 1, 2, 3. You want order food? Straight to your doorstep. Come pick up something. Or drop off something. Maybe you need that for shopping. Direct from your favorite. You want order your cooking gas. Direct to your doorstep. We dey run massive discount. Just place your order now. We dey run free delivery when you order. Oh yeah now.
Hurry now and download Oya Now app on the Google Play Store or Apple Store. You can also visit us at www.oyanowng or call us on 080-8410-1000 or 081-2355-4000. We are available in Lagos and Abuja. We are now with the call.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Things they happen for our community,
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this annoying family.
Hey, yeah, that one my own don't finish. Let's go and greet them, okay? Hey! Join media collation and awareness to hold trafficking, MICAs, on I Wish I Knew radio drama and program every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Join us to kick human trafficking out of our society. I Wish I Knew radio drama and program is brought to you by MICAs and funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark.
offense to the commercials. It's just that we want to see other audio.
Eagles 102.3.
All right, we are back. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is Eagles Outlook live on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja, and we are looking at a very topical issue that bothers unestimated billing in Nigeria, and also looking at the plans by the federal government to deploy 7 million smart meters nationwide. Is this a smart move, or we're just going to be beating round circles looking at the outcomes, from previous metering programs in Nigeria? I have with me in the studios an energy systems consultant, Dr. Peter Piper. And if you have questions bothering your mind, you best want to call in to channel those questions to him for clarification. And if you just want to contribute on the topic of discussion, please take advantage and call us on 09073530044 or 09087668888. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Milton.
Yes, good morning, Honorable Edward.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Right.
Little was too bad, I think.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
I actually appreciate our. Sorry, I'm calling for the post.
Right, please go ahead.
I appreciate our guest. He spoke very well. Because if you critically look at what is happening, I went to what do you call that place? That Apple Mechanic estate, and I was asking them the band that they belong to. They didn't even know whether they are on band A or band B or band C. That is Abuja here. Let's tell you that there are some places they have not seen meter in their life. What is so big about making this meter to be available? Just like I just say, making this meter to be available at the selling point, like electronic shops. Why? They will not give light. Even we who has a meter, who are using, we're on bar A. About the bar A we are using, do you know that we are paying for darkness? We are fortunate that even there's no light, our unit will still remain there. That's the only advantage. But we are paying for darkness. Because when we are paying for darkness is that if you buy that, for instance, for 1,000 naira, it gives you 4.20 units. What are you going to do with that? Only fridge can take it within an hour. You can't put on AC. You can't do anything. What must they classify this under BAM? It's a good move by the federal government to supply this thing. But they should do this in such a way that any private sectors will also produce or import the beef.
Okay.
Otherwise, the way people are suffering, they will wait. NEPA will wait till the end of month. They will start giving you light so that they will bring a estimated bill. First of all, it's not done anywhere. When are we going to move forward? Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. But it's shocking to hear that we have people under the band A category not enjoying premium power supply. Isn't that shocking to you? Because one would have thought that the band A customers are the ones enjoying uninterrupted power supply.
Omoife, let me tell you, the fear of band A is the beginning.
That's all.
I am telling you, band A is a nightmare to any user, unless you are a politician or you're one of those who you are in the upper class. If they put you in band A, the moment the light comes, you won't be able to sleep. When you turn on your air conditioners, as it's cooling, you're asking yourself, hey, what the hell am I doing to myself? Band A turns you into a mad person if you are a civil servant. You'll be running to the kitchen to switch off your fridge. You'll be running around the rooms to make sure that some air conditioners are not turned on. Why do we have band A, band B, band C? Are we bandits? Why do we like things that have to do with band? We don't need any band in electricity. Tell me which country in the world that is doing a band A, a band B, a band C. What type of stupid banditry is this?
Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Omoise.
Good morning, Elder. Good to have you.
Danoga is my name. I'm calling from Abuja.
Right. Please go ahead.
You see, our people make parable say, where you hit your leg, you know, see, and now where you fall, and where you be free. That's the NEPA problem. You see the problem in NEPA. Power holding cup, I don't know how they call it. See, the problem started from the government, when the government said this power out. And then the old NEPA staff, when the company is supposed to start there and bring new to board, those people causing problem in NEPA before, they not start them, they continue using them. That's what the problem of power in Nigeria here. It's the problem they cause for government before government sell it out. The company they refuse to start those workers, there are people causing problem up to now. They will make national grid to fall. And if the national grid fall, you know, say the money will come from government directly. That's why you see national grid continue falling because if national grid fall, the government will give them money immediately because they don't want it to affect position and things like that. And then that is causing confusion there. And then about meter. My guests are saying they can never give you meter because if they give you meter, they can give a middle bill. And then some of the federal bills they pay to their own account. If they want a power holding company to work in Nigeria, all the old NEPA staff to be staff. They will bring their own staff newly and train them and have somebody to supervise them. This will happen during the Babangida administration. What we do in Babangida administration by that time, we go and bring a seamen. When seamen came to NEPA, we monitor the NEPA staff. And then all the places, they have light by that time. Take it and go it when it's working. They start seamen and say the company, and then that's why the program goes to normal. Unless they stop all the NEPA old staff and bring their own staff to train them, so NEPA can never work in Nigeria. Thank you very much. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
But Elder, before we let you go, do you have a prepaid meter as we speak?
I have prepaid meter in Maraba, my house at Maraba, but the place where I did now, estimated bill. That's what the reason.
Okay.
The place where I did now, estimated bill, and the one they are giving to me a month. My sister, what am I using when they are giving me 48,000 naira a month? Senior citizen, where I retire as a government using. Even my pension is not up to that. What they are giving to me a month to pay.
All right,
thank you very much. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
Now you just heard that. A retired senior citizen, the amount you are asked to pay as your electricity bill at the end of the month is above the salary you collected when you were a civil servant.
Let's squeeze in this message. Joseph from Jai says, good morning, Omoife. Prepaid meters is not a solution. Federal government should create opposition for PHCN. There should be some sort of competition between PHCN and another powerful power company that would make PHCN think twice. Monopoly is evil. Omoife, let me tell you something. In 2016, I called PHCN to come and give light to one of my factory near a secondary school in Jai. On the arrival, they actually left the factory and then said to me they can't give me light from Jai transformers. That is a cross-border electrification. Then PHCN told me to buy transformers worth 7.7 million naira with all accessories. I then changed my mind and traveled to Lagos and meet one white man from Germany. He came and installed solar that actually fit my factory. Now I am celebrating 7 years, 24 hours light in my factory with low cost. Monopoly killed Nigeria.
That is one customer lost to the AEDC forever.
But would that have any impact on the AEDC?
Of course it will have impact
Just
on
one
them.
customer?
Oh, you know how many people are now putting solar? If Nigerians are smart, so it's going to come to a time where we will no longer need them. So one day we will no longer need them. You know, like this man I just told you now, he's off grid 24/7. So you can't give him a bill whether estimated or metered or not. He's out of it. And there are lots of people within estates in Abuja here who have converted their entire rooftop to solar panels. But you know, these solar panels are expensive.
Right, very expensive.
So that's the challenge. So which means now electricity is being weaponized against the poor. So you can see how many things, how many weapons, you know, the weapons that are being fashioned against you.
Is it the responsibility of the government to provide electricity for the masses?
Oh, if it is the responsibility of the government to provide electricity, what is the meaning of responsibility? Why do people come to tell us to vote for them into office? Why did they tell us that our hope, which was already shattered and battered, will be renewed if they were not going to take the responsibility of solving our problems? The answer is yes. It is their responsibility. In fact, if I have a headache, it is the responsibility of government.
I perceive sarcasm there. But now, talking about the responsibilities, now I'm sure that you're convinced now by this move, you know, to deploy 7 million meters, you know, across the country. That shows responsibility on the side of the government.
It doesn't show anything. If you are telling me that they are deployed 70 million meters, you know, all around the Federation, I will be dancing reggae here in the office. I will be singing the praises of the Minister of Power. I will be singing the praises of Tinubu to high heavens. But you're telling me you're deploying just 7 million meters. That will certainly go into the hands of one person who will hand it over to another person who will hand it over to another person before it finally gets to the other person whose only intention will be to defraud you before handing you. I'm not excited about it.
All right. Well, this is a developing story, whether you like it or not, because we're looking at, you know, more reactions from Nigerians, and that would also form new conversations in the days to come. Time is not our friend. We've got bills to pay. Dr. Peter Piper is an energy systems consultant. Thank you so much for spending part of your time with us on the show.
Thank you so very much, my friend.
And to the contributors, thank you also for sharing your thoughts. We'd like to say that the views expressed were not influenced by Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. Have a playback on Facebook and YouTube. Leave a comment. We'll be more than glad to acknowledge your thoughts. I am Omo Hefe Peace Osemere. Good morning.
Wake up with the morning show. Weekdays 6 to 10.